The key to developing a site like this is actually spending the time to find the right piece of land. Putting in things like trails and buildings, you can do that, it takes time, but having the right land with the right components where it had the wetland, it had the upland, it had the palm forest in the front, finding that right piece of land that we could work with was the most essential portion. For us, it was not about having an idea that we stamped upon the landscape, but finding the right piece of land and then letting us figure out a way to tell its story. In the Bahamas, there's 1,400 species of vascular plants, and of those, we now have 300 of them. We started with about 200 species already naturally on the site, and then over the last few years have gone out and done collections and brought in a little over another 100 species. And we will continue to add to that collection. So for some things, it's easy for us to collect and add, and other things, the habitats are so different that we have to alter our soil and things like that to try and get them to grow. On Eleuthera, there are a number of species that are non-native, and they were at our site to begin with. We removed them, but unfortunately all our neighbors have those invasive species. So that's really our greatest threat. We don't really have threats in terms of storms and even hurricanes, because for us, again, we're using native vegetation, so these plants are adapted to being hit by hurricanes and surviving and regrowing. Invasive species are a lot more of a problem simply because there's so many of them around, and even once you remove them, birds will fly in and drop more seed and things like that. For me, as a botanist, this site is really a giant playground, and I got to build something that I find really personally satisfying and personally interesting. And so for me, when others come in and see it, it is one of those things that I spent a lot of years looking at things and going, wow, I think that's really wonderful. I wish people could see that. So to have that satisfaction that they can come in and see the things that I've been seeing, and have that easy access where our trails allow people to get deep within the forest without having to scramble through the bush and stuff like that. So yeah, it's very personally satisfying.